Hello, Lumen Online School scholars and families. I am going to show you a couple of Zoom tips that will be very helpful for all of us as we get started this trimester. So here you can see I have a student Chromebook and I have logged in with my Gmail address and it opens up to our Lumen Online School website. I'm going to click on my Lumen Online School tab, scroll to my classroom, just like you would any other day. I'm using my 7th and 8th grade writing classroom as an example. Once I get to my Google Classroom and I use that same Zoom link you all have been using to get onto your homeroom lessons or your reading or your writing lessons, you know how to get into a Zoom meeting, and we'll get going right there. So now you're in your Zoom meeting. But if you do not have your name displaying the way that it should, it needs to have your first and your last name. And some of our teachers are asking that you change it to be Group A or Group B or your group names. But for most of us, we really need to have our first and last name as our Zoom screen name. So the things you'll need to do to make this change are these things right here. You'll need your meeting ID number from your teacher. You'll need to know what your screen name should look like. Again, for most of us, it'll be first and last name, and potentially another name or letter for your group. And then number 3, you'll need that meeting password from your classroom teacher that goes with this meeting ID. So you'll need those 3 things to get started. So when you're in your Zoom meeting, your teacher might tell you all, okay, now we're gonna go and we're gonna set our screen names. So you're going to push leave the meeting and click leave meeting. Now it brings us to this Zoom application screen. So what we want you to do, instead of clicking on sign in, you're going to click on join a meeting. When you click there, you have 2 boxes. Number 1, the meeting ID, and then number 2, this box here will be where you can enter your screen name. So the meeting ID is that number from your classroom teacher. I'm going to enter this one that is just the example for this video, but you will have your own meeting ID for your classroom. Then your screen name is the name that your teacher wants your name to appear as on all of your Zoom meetings moving forward. Once you make this change, it should be set going forward for all of your Zoom meetings. So we only have to do it one time. So let's say that my teacher has told me I'm Group A, so I'm going to put in my Group A and then my name. Okay? I actually have a little capital letter there that I don't want to have, so I'm going to go back. All right, so now I'm going to join my meeting. It's going to ask for my password. Again, that's the password from your classroom teacher, not this one that I'm using right now as an example. And it should enter me into the meeting with my new changed screen name. So let's double check that it works. There you can see my screen name has been changed by what I changed it to within that last screen. And now it will be set every time I join that Zoom meeting, okay? A couple other Zoom tips while we are on this video. Sometimes you lose the toolbar at the bottom of your Zoom, or you lose your Zoom screen altogether. In order to get back on your Zoom screen, the Zoom application is this little circle down here, the blue circle with the white video camera. If you click on that, it will bring your Zoom screen back up. The other thing is sometimes this Zoom toolbar disappears. So in order to get that back, you just have to move your cursor, move your mouse, and it should come back up. And on that toolbar, you have your unmute, you have your start video, you also have where you can chat, and there's also a tool here, the gallery view. You can test out what is better for you, the speaker view or the gallery view. So that's just a little tip. Another tip on our Chromebooks for Zoom screen, and for those of you that have a Zoom screen and you're also having an assignment open side by side, like a Google Doc, what you can do is you're going to push the Alt key and this bracket key at the same time. So let me try to do that. Alt and the bracket. And then what it does is it makes 2 screens. So my Zoom screen is over here, and then I'm gonna have my Google Doc screen over here. Okay, so let me try that one more time. I've got the Alt key and the bracket key, and it makes these two screens. They're like smaller screens that now I can have both on my screen so I can see both things at once. Click back on my Zoom meeting, and there we go. So now I can see my Zoom meeting over here and my Google Doc over here. That's probably for some of the upper grade students so that they can be working on their assignments while also watching the meeting. I hope those were some helpful tips. Please, as always, reach out if you need any assistance with any of our technology. We are happy to help. Have a great weekend.